No, as I said at the time, I didn't expect Parthornax to be a dragon, nor did I expect to watch that group that banished Alduin with an Elder Scroll. Also, I didn't expect Alduin of our time to show up and do battle with us right after. So, there were a lot of surprises to be had on the top of Mount Hrothgar, the throat of the world. I can see why those warrior Nords of old banished Alduin. They could not defeat him, and now I know why they couldn't defeat him. He is the most powerful thing I have ever encountered. In fact, if I had everything I've ever killed all attack Alduin at the same time, I don't know who would win. He's practically impossible to defeat, and this with my master Dragonbone weapons and Dragon Scale armor, along with Serena, Inigo, and Redcap, and we were nearly defeated. I completely ran out of healing potions. Had he directed one of his breaths on me near the end of the fight, I very well might have died. And then, well, the world would be at Alduin's mercy. So to that end, I would like to focus on better defense and offense, with my swords, my armor, and my bow. I have come a long way since returning home, mastering smithing and enchanting, which has given me very fine equipment, the best that one can possibly get. But in the way of the warrior, I am not a master, more like somewhere in between. If not for the aid of my powerful allies, I wouldn't be where I am today. Alone, against Alduin, I wouldn't stand a chance. Unless, of course, I have unlimited access to those ultimate healing potions, which is impossible, of course. Worse, I cannot even make those potions myself. I have one more sneak attack that I have been practicing, one where any enemy except for Alduin or any powerful dragon should fall to my dagger if I get close enough while being undetected. But I have a special way of advancing that skill, one that won't get in the way of my normal progression. I am still rather shocked. Not at everything that just occurred, but by the strength and power of Alduin. I don't even know if the Daedric princes are that strong in battle. I have a feeling that from now on, things will change. Alduin was defeated, but did not die. And worse, he disappeared, and apparently is in Sovngarde, taking the souls of those there to replenish himself. That could only mean he'll be back, and this time he'll be ready for me. So, this Dragonborn will continue all those quests given, throw myself into the Civil War, and the skills I will gain will be focused on readying myself for our next match. Alduin cannot win here, or all of Nirn may be destroyed. He is, after all, called the World Eater for a reason. The nice warm crackling of the fire puts me in either a mood to drink or go to sleep.
Yeah, I'm here every night. So?
It's not something to be proud of. Alright, I need a better place to read. When you're on the road and camping and sleeping at inns, so you can sit on my lap if you want. I'm not sure if there's a spike that'll get you, though.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, there is. Well, just be careful. This armor is not meant for hugging or being close to. Alright, so I have Feyfolken 2. Book 2 by Wogan Jarth. After the test had been given and Von Golak and Taxim had demonstrated their knowledge of elementary conjuration, the great sage told them that they were free to enjoy the day. The two lads, who most afternoons fidgeted through their lessons, refused to leave their seats. You told us that after the test you'd tell us more of your tale about the scribe and his enchanted quill, said Taxim. You've already told us about the scribe, how he lived alone and his battles with the temple secretary over the bulletin he scripted for posting, and how he suffered from the crimson plague and couldn't speak. When you left off, his messenger boy had just had his master's quill, enchanted with the spirit of a Daedra named Feyfolken, added Von Golak to aid the great sage's memory. As it happens, said the great sage, I was thinking about a nap. Huh, me too. Well, bedtime. But it's too early. However, the story does touch on some issues of the natures of spirits and thus is related to conjuration, so I'll continue. Tharbad began using the quill to write the temple bulletin, and there was something about the slightly lopsided, almost three-dimensional quality of the letters that Tharbad liked a lot. Into the night, Tharbad put together the temple of Auriel's bulletin. For the moment he washed over the page with the Feyfolken quill, it became a work of art, an illuminated manuscript crafted of gold, but with good, simple and strong vernacular. The sermon's excerpts read like poetry, despite being based on the archpriest's workmanlike exhortation of the most banal of Elysian doctrines. The obituaries of two of the temple's chief benefactors were stark and powerful. Pitifully mundane deaths transitioned into world-class tragedies. Wonder what I could do with a pen like that, a quill like that. I would write to my brother and tell him off so eloquently that maybe he would reply saying he is sorry. Tharbad worked the magical palette until he nearly fainted from exhaustion. At 6 o'clock in the morning, a day before deadline, he handed the bulletin to Gorgos for him to carry to Alfiers, the temple secretary. As expected, Alfiers never wrote back to compliment him or even comment on how early he had sent the bulletin. It didn't matter. Tharbad knew it was the best bulletin the temple had ever posted. At 1 o'clock on Sundays, Gorgos brought him many messages. The bulletin today was so beautiful when I read it in the vestibule. I'm ashamed to tell you I wept copiously, wrote the archpriest. I don't think I've seen anything that captures Auriel's glory so beautifully before. The cathedrals of Firsthold pale in comparison. My friend, I prostrate myself before the greatest artist since Galileo. The archpriest was, like most men of the cloth, given to hyperbole. Still, Tharbad was happy with the compliment. More messages followed. All of the temple elders and 33 of the parishioners, young and old, had all taken the time to find out who wrote the bulletin and how to get a message to congratulate him. And there was only one person they could go through for that. For that information, Alfiers. Imagining the dragon lady besieged by his admirers filled with Tharbad with positive glee. He was still in a good mood the next day when he took the ferry to his appointment with his healer. What a name. Telemichio? The herbalist was new, a pretty red-guard woman who tried to talk to him, even after he gave her the note reading, My name is Tharbad Holzik, and I have an appointment with Telemichio for 11 o'clock. Please forgive me for not talking, but I have no voice box anymore. Has it started raining yet? She asked cheerfully. The diviner said it might. Tharbad frowned and shook his head angrily. Why was it that everyone thought that mute people liked to be talked to? Did soldiers who lost their arms like to be thrown balls? It was undoubtedly not a purposely cruel behavior, but Tharbad still suspected that some people just liked to prove that they weren't crippled too. The examination itself was routine horror. Telemichio performed the regular invasive torture, all the while chatting and chatting and chatting. You ought to try talking once in a while. That's the only way to see if you're getting better. If you don't feel comfortable doing it in public, you could try practicing it by yourself, said Telemichio, knowing her patient would ignore her advice. Try singing in the bath. You'll probably find you don't sound as bad as you think. Tharbad left the examination with the promise of test results in a couple of weeks. On the ferry ride back home, Tharbad began thinking of next week's temple bulletin. What about a double border around the last Sunday's offering plate? Announcement? Putting the sermon in 2 columns instead of 1 might have interesting effects. I think almost unbearable. It was almost unbearable to think that he couldn't get started on it until Alfiers sent him information. When she did, it was with the note, last bulletin a little better. Next time don't use the word fortuitous in place of fortunate. The words are not, if you look them up, synonymous. In response, Tharbad almost followed Telemichio's advice by screaming obscenities at Gorgos. Instead, he drank a bottle of cheap wine, composed and sent a suitable reply, and fell asleep on the floor. I seem to remember this story, actually. I must have read it when I was a lad. The next morning, after a long bath, Tharbad began work on the bulletin. His idea for putting a light shading effect on the special announcements section had an amazing textural effect. Alfears always hated the extra decorations he added to the borders, but using the Feyfolken quill, they looked strangely powerful and majestic. Gorgos came to him with a message from Alfears at that very moment, as if in response to the thought. Tharbad opened it up. It simply said, "I'm sorry." Tharbad kept working. Alfears' note he put from his mind, sure that she would soon follow it up with the complete message. "I'm sorry that no one ever taught you to keep right hand and left hand margins the same length, or I'm sorry we can't get someone other than a weird old man as scribe of our bulletin." It didn't matter what she was sorry about. The columns from the sermon notes rose like the massive pillars of roses, crowned with unashamedly ornate headers. The obituaries and birth announcements were framed together with a spherical border as a heartbreaking declaration of the circle of life. The bulletin was simultaneously both warm and avant-garde. It was a masterpiece. When he sent it off to Alfears late that afternoon, he knew she'd hate it, and he was glad. Tharbad was surprised to get a message from the Temple of Loredas. The Temple on Loredas. Before he read the content, he could tell from the style that it wasn't from Alfears. The handwriting wasn't Alfears' usual belligerent slashing style, and it wasn't all in Alfears' usual capital letters, which read like a scream from oblivion. "Tharbad, I thought you should know Alfears isn't at the temple anymore. She quit her position yesterday, very suddenly. My name is Vanderthil, and I was lucky enough, let me admit it now, I beg pitifully, to be your new temple contact. I'm overwhelmed by your genius. I was having a crisis of faith until I read last week's bulletin. This week's bulletin is a miracle. Enough. I just wanted to say, I'm honored to be working with you." Vanderthil, now you've done it, Tharbad. The response on Sundays after the service even astonished Tharbad. The archpriest attributed the massive increase in attendance and collection plate offerings entirely to the bulletin. Tharbad's salary was quadrupled. Gorgos brought over 120 messages from his adoring public. The following week, Tharbad sat in front of his writing plank, a glass of fine Torvali mead at his side, staring at the blank scroll. He had no ideas. I think he was only doing it to upset Alfears. The bulletin, his child, his second wife, bored him. The third-rate sermons of the archbishops were absolute anathema, and the deaths and births of the temple patrons struck him as entirely pointless. Blah, blah, he thought as he scribbled on the page. He knew he wrote the letters. Blah, blah. The words that appeared on the scroll were, "A necklace of pearl on a white neck." What? He scrawled a jagged line across the page. It appeared in through that damn beautiful Feyfolken quill. Glory to Auriel. Tharbad slammed the quill and poetry spilled forth in a stream of ink. He scratched over the page, blotting over everything, and the vanquished words sprung back in different form, even more exquisite than before. Every daub and splatter caused the document to whirl like a kaleidoscope before falling together in gorgeous asymmetry. There was nothing he could do to ruin the bulletin. Feyfolken had taken over. He was a reader, not an author. "Now," asked the great sage, "what was Feyfolken from your knowledge of the school of conjuration?" "What happened next?" cried von Gulek. "First, tell me what Feyfolken was, and then I'll continue the story." "You said it was a Daedra," said Taxim, "and it seems to have something to do with artistic expression. Was Feyfolken a servitor of Azura?" "But the scribe may have been imagining all this," said von Gulek. "Perhaps Feyfolken is a servitor of Sheogorath, and he's gone mad. Or the quill's writing makes everyone who views it, like all the congregation at the Temple of Auriel, go mad." "Hermaeus Mora is the Daedra of knowledge, and Hircine is the Daedra of the wild, and the Daedra of revenge is Boethia," pondered Taxim, and then he smiled. "Feyfolken is a servitor of Clavicus Vile, isn't it?" "Very good," said the great sage. "How did you know?" "It's his style," said Taxim, assuming that he doesn't want the power of the quill now that he has it. "What happens next?" "I'll tell you," said the great sage, and continued the tale. Must want to keep reading. Feyfolken Book 3. I'm sure I've read this when I was younger. I wonder if my home, Lakeview Manor, will... Well, not wonder, but I'm going to make sure that there is a nice reading room for me. Maybe I'll be able to look out and see the lake and read my book in the mornings or in the evenings.
I came across a couple of mud crabs the other
That would be
day.
wonderful.
Annoying creatures.
Nothing I'd like to talk about.
I guess 43 out of 44
wait.
races ain't
As I
bad.
said, it is not
I'm
morning, it's
practically
evening.
perfect.
My mind is tired. Right, so, what I plan to do, let's go to Whiterun, not to speak to the Jarl. Let's hold off on that. I've got so many other things to do. I am going to get Lucien, though. And maybe we'll go up to the boat? Wherever it was. By the boat? Where that woman is trying to kill that, what do you call that? Walrus-like creature. Horker, that's it. And then we can go west to Solitude, where I have about a dozen different jobs to do. Also, I have to keep in mind that I have to look out for the kinds creatures in the Sacred Trials. So there's one saber cat. That's in Winterhold. There's a guardian mammoth in Whiterun, and a guardian bear in Falkreath. Maybe we can get the Whiterun. Depends where it is. Whiterun is not small. Let's see. Oh. Oh, it's just north of Whiterun. That's completely possible. Alright, let's get some sleep. I've paid for the room. No, not enough room for two comfortable people. Yeah. Oh well. We squeezed in smaller beds before. Just to fall asleep next to each other. I found it. Fishing Mastery Volume 2. I'll have to read this. Oh. Well, it goes over the different kind of fish. These are the fish that I need to catch. I need to take it. Read it when I can. Alright, we're out of Riften.
Oh,
Hello.
I tell the future all right, when I feel up to the task, that is. But I'm afraid my energies haven't quite peaked yet today.
How are things going with Santos?
Wonderful, dear. Thank you.
This is the dog I brought her.
I ain't asking for much, just a few seconds.
Alright. Well, I am looking for more healing potions. I might have some in Breesholm. I thought I saved a lot. But I really regret not picking up everyone I come across now. Because they're so hard to find in stores. The ultimate healing potions. And I can't make them myself. But I do have this alcohol. Hold on.
Good to see you
I'd
again.
like a drink.
Of course.
Thanks.
What do you think of Jed?
I quite like Jed, but he's too much of a ladies' man.
Hey, hold on. Let's see where I'm supposed to take it. Danica, doing her best to heal the wounded and sick. I need your expertise, Danica.
I heard the gourmet's hiding out somewhere in Skyrim. You know, fella who wrote that cookbook?
I have no idea who that is. I'd like to get training in restoration magic.
I'll gladly share my knowledge with you.
We spent several hours together and she showed me everything that she knows. Here comes my daughter.
Papa, you're home. Want to play a game?
Sure.
What do you want to play?
What if we play hide and seek?
Okay, you stand right there and count to 10. No peeking. Ready? Go!
1, 2,
So, I was thinking,
that's hot.
if
3,
I were young,
4,
and an adventurer showed up asking to trap a lion,
Lucien,
dragon, and
5,
palace,
6,
I'd hit
7,
them, or
8,
arrest them,
9,
or both.
10. What? Lucia?
Breathe is a big meanie. Papa!
Okay. I've got something for you, Lucia.
Wow, thanks, Papa.
Listen, I've got a new dress for you. Here.
Thanks.
I think it looks a little better. Ah, Constance. Are you alright, doggy? Lucian, where are you?
What do you
Lydia.
need, my Thane?
Thank you for doing your duty and watching over my home and adopted dog and daughter.
Long life to you, Thane.
Right, I have some things to pick up. Let's see if those potions are here. Where is Lucian? Lucian. Hey,
Yes, my friend?
you Imperials, follow me.
Let's get moving.
Just don't get
What's
in the way,
next?
huh? These have potions. I know I made some. Yes, look at this. 20 of them. I have to start... From now on, every ultimate healing potion I come across, I have to take. Because you can't really... I bought one, and I've checked all of Whiterun and Riften. They just don't... I'm gonna take it all. They just don't really sell those. Even at the, Oh wait, I didn't try the apothecary here in Riften, or Whiterun. I did in Riften. Forgot about her. Right, so, now that I've read... Yeah, we have to buy the Argonian account. 4... Feyfolken. I must have passed it already. Books I have read go in there. Right. Let's see if we can't reach that apothecary before they close. Red cap.
Big bad, scared. Big bad, run.
What are you talking about? Oh, Alduin? Huh. We showed him, didn't we?
Ha! You, Dovaka, always win.
We need to get some sleep. Oh. I have gained in skill. My sneak attacks with daggers now do a total way more damage than they did before.
That was amazing. You're amazing.
Yes, I'm a little dirty. It's time to have a bath.
Well, I
Morning.
was stuck underground
Looks
for a
like you
large
slept
portion of your
well.
history, so nothing really comes to mind.
Alright.
How about the...
You know, all the dragon souls that I've taken,
Being stuck
I'm
underground.
able to convert
Much
some
it
of
has
them
been forgotten
into
by
more
now.
skill for myself.
But I think what would interest you the most would be the Ethereum.
The more
wars.
dragon souls I take and don't use towards shouts, the more I can do this.
You tell me about it.
I've been eating a lot of fish lately since I've caught so much of them. I cooked up the ones that I don't need. Where's Lucia? I know it's
I
early.
was almost afraid it would cause your heart to fail. Judging by
Ugh,
your face,
this little smelly
I'm
thing.
concerned it might be the case.
You dropped some gold here, girl. Hey, Lucia.
Was that really necessary?
Sorry. Adventure calls. It's time for me to head out.
I'm not afraid. You stand hale and heart.
Okay. I hope to remain so I have yet to find a single threat I could not face, including Alduin.
Hope you're willing to back those words up with your fists.
Fists, swords, bow. Shouts. My head if need be. Like in this case. Move. Out of the way. Right, so, where do we go next? There's so much for us to do. You know what, I was thinking of going north and just getting that over with. Winterhold, Guardian Mammoth. That's north of Whiterun. I was gonna go there. Let's go there. I'll keep that. Oh, then, yes, that's where I want to start the Galder legend. Right, so this should be just outside of Whiterun to the north. Right here. And from there... Oh, where is it? I have to find where she is. That woman. Way to Ulf's big heart. Wreck of the Brinehammer. Oh, here. Right by Dawnstar. I guess it kind of is on the way to Fulgunthur. I mean, I should be able to say that that's a Nordic rune. Ancient. We don't have words like that anymore for places. We don't call them that. Investigate the Galder legend. The book Lost Legend should provide some insight. I believe I have that on me. I hope so. If not, now is the time to figure it out, because I keep all my books here. Lost Legend. Why don't I see it? Let's see if it's upstairs. Hey, headbutt. Anybody in my way? Just stay out. It will probably be here. This is where all my red books go. Not red colored. Red books that have been read. Lost Legends. What? Oh, wait. Did I not go down far enough? Letter. Should be under this. There it is. Lost Legends. Make sure I have that book with me before we go. Last thing I want to do is be stuck in some kind of old Nordic ruin and not know the way out because I didn't remember to bring the book. Oops.
Do you need something?
Well, now that you're here, I love you.
So...
Our lovemaking last night was wonderful. I lean in to kiss her.
So that explains why you keep bumping into me.
Okay, what is the one north of Whiterun? Guardian Mammoth? Okay. So I figured out what I'm going to do. I think we're going to ride back to Whiterun, take the carriage to Winterhold, deliver the case of Frost River Mead, because Hulda didn't want it, and then go west, take the carriage, or sorry, there's no carriage out of Winterhold, but there is a boat. Take it to Dawnstar, and from Dawnstar, go up here to the Brinehammer, and from here, go on horseback to Fulgunthur. Now, where is this? Is a spectral mammoth? Oh, I've been here. This is that, mammoth graveyard. You'd think it would be easy to see. Maybe it appears after coming here? Yes, I was right. Well, this is Kind's sacred trials, right? Sorry, mammoth. Hey! Well, I took its soul, so if it's here mourning its dead kin, maybe that wasn't a nice thing to do. Right, so we're going to go back to Whiterun now. The Frozen Hearth. Hopefully they'll accept this Frost River Mead. I forget where I picked this up from. Was it from south of Dragonbridge? Oh, as usual, it's cold as... I don't know what to compare it to. What I think it would be like on, Oh, where's Atmora to the north? Hey!
If there's anything you need, just let me know.
Well, the person that gave this to me said that any innkeeper would take it, but I'm hoping you'll take it. I have a case of Frost River Mead for you.
Ah, good. I've been waiting on that. Here's the gold for it. Thanks.
You've been waiting on it. Okay. Right. We have... Oh, tomorrow's my birthday.
Well?
I'm not even sure. I don't have any plans. As long as I... Maybe Serana and I can share that Cyrodiilic brandy. Been holding on to it. Didn't come up last time we drank. But the two of us will drink it. Whether I'm sleeping in a tent or not, it really doesn't matter. Okay, so it's to the east. To the east from here. Yeah, that's... To the east. It's gonna be night by the time we get back. Defeat the Guardian Sabercat. So I planned to do this. I actually just added this in. Journeyman's Nook? I have no idea. I must have passed that by. Defeat the Guardian Sabercat who stalks the northeast coast of Winterhold. Okay. Everybody mount up. That's why you're so tired, Serena. You're always running along behind us. Which one is this one? A Sabercat, that's right. I actually, I remember this as a boy. I think we traveled through this my time since coming to Winterhold. Coming back to Skyrim, I should say. But I know this is a kind of a dangerous area. Not many people go here. Caverns full of bears and... What? Are those some kind of spirits floating over there? I don't even know what's going on. That does not look like a saber cat spirit, I'll say that. There! Aye! Oh, I already took one. What is this? You're not what I came for. You're supposed to be the saber cat? I think I've seen one of these before. Hey. Oh, that was weird.
Ha! Me not even hurt.
I don't think this is what we're after. What was that? Huh. Oh, whoa. I guess it counts as the saber cat? I don't even know. This is where we were told to go. No, that looked like the Pale Lady to me. Strange. Right, okay, so back to Winterhold, and then we can take the boat to Dawnstar. Well, maybe in Dawnstar we'll sleep. I'd rather do that than just... Yeah, it looks like I'm going to be going to the dungeon on my birthday. As for Alduin, I don't know. Looks like someone just killed the bear over there. There was some woman on horseback that passed us by, said they're on an urgent mission for the Jarl, so... I don't know what that was about. Hey, did I know that Khajiit? Is he part of the Mages Guild? I think I met him. Is it Jizargo? Some of those Khajiits are really full of themselves. Yeah, I wonder what happened to that woman. I didn't get a good look at her. She was covered up very completely. Only her eyes were showing. Well, maybe she went to meet the Jarl. So, this way. That's a bit of a silly way to get there. My birthday is tomorrow. I turn 28. Not like... I was going to say Lucian. Not like Inigo, who sings for every occasion, though. Here it is. Pretty steep. Hey there. Like to hire your boat.
Where are you headed?
We're going to go to Dawnstar.
Climb on in the boat and get comfortable.
I don't know how you sit here all day. Maybe he gets himself warm when he rows. I'd be at least fishing or running around killing things in the area. Leave a sign that says, shout for me in the area. That sounds like a Torald Jensen thing. Most certainly. I'll be in the area killing things or at the end of the dock fishing. Just call me if you need me. Why are we here again? We're going to go west. This woman up. Callen to the wreck of the Brinehammer. No, I don't think there's anything else in Dawnstar that I need. So let's head out west.
I'd appreciate if you kept some of the more embarrassing details to yourself.
I've ran into you. I haven't met your sister. You're the one I saved right when we were going up to find Langley. Long time ago. Or wait, are you the one I'm looking for? About your sister?
Mathilde, owner of Ironbreaker Mine. When her and her husband Legel split up, she got the iron and left him with the quicksilver. That scrap ain't good for much save patching up elven armor. And if that's your business here, you may find yourself with a shortage of customers.
Oh. Well, you know, how did you react? How'd you react to the divorce?
The divorce wasn't much of a surprise, considering they were never really friendly with each other. Passionate, maybe, but that's not enough. It was only a matter of time before things got messy, and my sister's not someone you want to mess with. She's the kind of woman who chews rocks for fun and cleans her dishes with spit. Cross her, and you're not doing yourself any favors.
Siblings fight, spouses fight, particularly if one of them is betrothed.
At least I have an excuse. I'm obligated to love my sister. The Gelf chose to. But that makes it sound like my sister was a frost troll. She wasn't perfect. She wasn't even decent. But people who work and live the hard way, they are worthy of your respect. For a tough miner like Legelf, maybe that isn't love, but it's close enough.
Yeah, you're the one I saved. How's it feel to be back home?
Dealing with Batilde on a daily basis. Now I remember why I enjoyed leaving this place. She gripes over the slightest of things and turns them into biggest of arguments. It got so bad that I was thinking of moving into the Wind Peak Inn. But I'm a little light in the pocket since I stopped hunting bounties. Sad thing is, I'm dependent on my sister to survive.
Were you always an awkward fighter?
Of course. Batilde liked to say when I came out of the womb I looked like a spider, all knees and elbows. I was a gangly child. My arms and legs seemed in a hurry to grow and left the rest of my body behind. It didn't help that I was shy. The village children were merciless. Tikri the awkward, they used to chant, like it was some nursery rhyme.
Children can be cruel.
Yes, but there was one child in particular, Jorn, who took things a step further. He used to climb on the rooftops and hurl stones at me. When I complained to the adults, they almost did the same. Jorn was a sweet, innocent boy, they said.
No one believed you.
Not even my sister came to my defense. Only one person ever did. Her name was Saline. She was slick, clever, mischievous, and mysterious. Her family hailed from elsewhere, and she smelled of sand and blood. When Jorn first met her, I think his jaw would have hit the floor if she hadn't thrust it up his nose. She didn't buy his sweet boy act for a second.
You must have been fast friends.
We spent every minute together. Her father was grooming her to be a warrior, and she'd often share the lessons she learned.
That's
We
how
met
you
at
learned.
night and practiced by the lighthouse fire. She taught me how to hold a weapon, how to strike with it, and how to defend.
Why do you think she taught you?
If I learned to protect myself, she said, bullies like Jorn could never get away with hurting me again. But if I wanted to get better, I needed to spar. And to spar, I first needed a weapon of my own. So one night I borrowed a blade from the smith's workbench. I was running up the lighthouse steps to show Saline when I slipped on a patch of ice.
So you fell, but a good warrior never lets go of their weapon.
I know, but it slid out of my hand, off the ledge, and into the bed of snow below. Saline told me not to panic, even though I was already starting to. We ran down to the shoreline and combed the area. From down below, the fire from the lighthouse was dim, but bright enough to reflect any stray metal lying in that pillow of white.
Did you manage to find your sword?
Yes. In fact, it only took me a few minutes to find the sword standing straight up in the snow. I called to Saline, but she didn't answer. She was staring at something. A dark surface wedged in the rock. I ran over and tugged at her shoulder, holding up the hilt to her eyes. She never turned her gaze, and that's when I looked at the rock once more and saw the door. A black one, painted with skulls and bones.
What?
And it spoke.
Where is that? What happened next?
I was mortified. I couldn't even breathe. I backed up, tripped, and fell on my bottom, clutching my blade like a doll. Saline didn't flinch. It asked her a question. Saline talked back to it, but the door didn't like her answers. Then she repeated the question to me. What was life's greatest illusion? For some reason, my thoughts turned to Jorn. I said something, I can't recall what, but the door opened and she went in.
Oh. Why didn't you stop her?
Saline used to say that someday I'd surpass her as a fighter. that I fought so awkwardly my movements were unpredictable. But that night, at that moment, I wasn't that person I was going to be. I was who I was, and that person was weak. Mentally, physically, and emotionally. Callen told me to wait outside, and I was more than happy to.
What happened to Callen change you?
Callen used to love watching the guards spar. Her dream was to one day join them, to become a housecarl and serve as the Jarl's right hand. She was always thinking about others, trying to shield us all from harm. She was strong, gallant, honorable. She was my friend. And it burns me every single day that I couldn't be the same for her.
Do you blame yourself for what happened to her? I guess you never saw her again.
Yes, I blame myself. And I always will. Not for opening that door, but for lacking the courage to follow her inside it. So I swore to myself that I would become the person Callen always thought I could be, and achieve the goals she always wanted for herself. My body is the vessel for both our spirits, one chasing a dream, and the other vowing to never let a friend chase it alone.
You mentioned you were not without some talent.
When I was younger, I trained in the barracks as a sword maiden. Many believed I would eventually serve Skald the Elder as his housecarl. But the position was filled by a man named Jod, a great warrior and former Imperial Legionnaire. Jod was part of a naval garrison that fought off the Thalmor as their ships attempted to establish a beachhead on the northern coast. As a result, he's revered and loved by the people, the guards, and more importantly, the Jarl himself, a true hero of Skyrim.
Sounds like a great man and a good housecarl.
Except I know I'm a better fighter than Jod. He may have been a great warrior in his time, but now he gets by on reputation and myth. And while I realize there is something almost cruel about slaying a man's reputation, sometimes it is the only way. I know one thing, people would have hated me for it. We all want to think our heroes are infallible. Maybe that's why Skald decided to put a stop to all the talk. He told the guard captain to get rid of me. Said there was a hole in my defense.
Housecarls die, Jarls change, your time may yet come.
So do people, and so do dreams. I've seen too much of the world to want to be cooped up in a longhouse, listening to nobles and farmers petition the Jarl for lord taxes. As a bounty hunter, I can still serve the Hold and the Jarl while traveling across the Pale, and honor the spirits to whom I've pledged my sword.
You may think this when you're young, but I've always been told once you get older you'll want to settle down. Slow it down. Maybe sitting around listening to the Jarl and everyone that's petitioning the Jarl will be a blessing. Many years from now, 20, 30 years. So, being a bounty hunter is a lot different than guard duty.
I know. Bounty hunters put their lives on the line almost every day, and only reap from the blood they sow. When I was a guard, I gotten into hundreds of battles, fights, and scuffles, but never with my life on the line.
What sort of fights did you get into as a guard?
We used to clean out the barracks and hold sparring matches. Tourneys. Put half a week's wages in a pot. Winner takes all. We'd knock each other around with practice swords until our bellies were as lumpy as a toad. I won more than my share, of lumps and gold.
When did you get your first taste of real battle?
The Jarl had put up a bounty after word came of pilgrims dying near the Waynan stones. As the stones form a wreath around the Shrine of Talos, many suspected the Thalmor. Few were brave enough to challenge them. Only when I arrived I found no Thalmor. All was silent save the crunch of my boots against a quilt of snow. Just in case, I knelt before the altar like a pilgrim and asked for Talos' blessing. That's when I heard it, the chattering of teeth.
What would that be? Ice Wraiths, Thalmor, skeletons? Skeletons? You're surrounded by skeletons.
Yes, the chime was that of bones, but bones clear as crystal that sparkled like the White River.
Oh, no, I was wrong.
It was a sound that
Rice.
slithered and swam through the air,
White
rattling
ice
like
wraiths.
a pair of bone snakes. Only they did so without a body, and without a tongue. They were ice wraiths.
Those are more of a chime. How did you fend them off?
I drew my sword when I should have raised my shield. I still recall the feeling of frostbite that touched my skin as their fangs sunk into my flesh.
Oh.
I shook them off and darted back behind the stone. It felt as if the wind itself was trying to take a bite out of my neck.
What happened next?
I looked to Talos for guidance. He granted my
Good
faith
call.
with a vision. A tiny red dot dancing around the altar. It was a drop of blood. And just like that, I had my answer. With but one health potion left, I would only have one chance. I tossed my shield away.
And what did you do?
I slashed my palm and squeezed it, letting the blood collect in my hand. Then I closed my eyes and listened for the rattle to get close. I threw the blood in the direction of the noise, hoping to splatter it across their glassy spines. Then I opened my eyes, and there they were. Once the mystery was gone, they were nothing more than slaughterfish, wading through the air as I stuck them with my blade.
Outside of the obvious reasons, how do sparring matches and real fights differ?
You fight recklessly when the blades are blunted. What's a blow to the arm if you can knock a man to the ground?
Oh, I see.
People won those tournaments by turning them into melees. Old-fashioned brawls. Real fights, I imagined they'd be different. I knew they'd be different. It was just a question of how much.
It's good to get practice in, though. Anyways,
Safe
nice
travels.
talking to you, Tickrid. Stay safe out there, especially in your chosen career. What's going on?
If you need me, I'm with you.
I've got the dragon in the distance.
That's a magnificent horse you have there.
Where's your horse?
In Cyrodiil, we respect each other's personal space.
See if I can't get his attention. Mike, what are you doing out here? Hey.
This one.
Huh?
Where bears? Where? Bears? Men that are bears?
Ugh. Sometimes... You actually reminded me of Indigo a bit. Sometimes all these Skidgees seem the same. Come on, dragon. I think it spotted me, yes. Come on. It's not Alduin. Ooh. What kind of breath is that? Missed. Come on, use your magic. We're in a dragon battle. Stand still. I can't knock an arrow fast enough to do two every time they stop. Come on, Inigo, I give you like 100 arrows or more. Hey. Never know what's gonna happen. Die! No! Ah! Oh, that is not good. Standing still is not good either. I have no resistance to whatever it's spewing at me. Fortify health. Extreme healing.
I'll bring you down.
Come land again. Ooh. Have to watch that. To oblivion with you.
Tough day for you.
Got it. Come on, land. Tear those wings. Make it land.
What have you got? Come at me.
What are you shooting at? The dragon's dead? What else is out there? There's something over there they're fighting. You see that, Mike? You don't need to lie about this fight. I'll get some of my ice arrows back. Yeah. Okay. Just take it because... Who are you fighting? Bandit?
Dead! Not very impressive.
Oh, there's a camp over there. More bandits. Dragonborn. What happened here? Why are you naked? Well, not naked, but in your small clothes. Whoa. Nice arrows in here. You don't see that too often. You know what? This wouldn't be a bad place to camp if I bring out my tent. The fire's already set up here by these fools. We still have to go up there. Time. You know what? We'll do that tomorrow. It's almost my birthday. Less than an hour. Right. Well, let's set up the tent. Right here. Next to the dead bandit body. I just have a strong feeling that bandits won't be coming back. Normally I just stay away. And the reason for that is because it's so cold. It's wintertide. Oh, this is nice. Fire right here to keep us warm. Just wish we had places to sit on. There's nothing to sit on but rocks. Well, it's not my actual birthday, so we can't really celebrate today. But it is nice to keep warm here. Let's have a good sleep, and then go after that woman in the morning. Not a bad night. Little cold in the middle of the night, but I am 28 today. It is my birthday. So I'll do what I want. Blackbriar Reserve, which I've been saving. And salmon steak. Oh, let's just get this started. What else can I have with that? Is there a sweet roll? Anything to go? Yes, there's sweet rolls. Alright, that is a good breakfast. And no, we were not attacked during the night. I'm surprised if that's the ship. Surprised ships are able to come in so far, so close to the shore. All the reindeer that's over there. Right, pack up the tent and let's be off. Such a nice tent. Never had anything like this before in my life. When I heard that this new tent style was, just a few months back, was being used everywhere in Skyrim. It's a little hard to come by, you have to have linen. But I wanted to have it, especially after seeing them. Much nicer than the tents that I was taught how to make from my uncle growing up. I mean, those are good too, I mean, but for a large party like this, it fits everybody. There are 4 beds, there's 5 of us, Serena and I share one. This has got to be it. It's not a sunken ship, it's a beach ship. Pretty big one too. Sails have been ripped off though. Weird. Alright, where is that one? There she is. You didn't see me coming. Hey.
Alright, we're here. You got a plan? Or do you just want to charge in stabbing?
I see Solitude off in the distance. Oh, we're going to fight some big Horker? Well, let's just try using stealth.
Let me get this straight. You wanna try and sneak around? Out here? What, there is some vampire gonna disappear into the ice? Whatever. Let's just find this thing before it sees its reflection and dies. Hold on. Did you hear that?
What? No?
More importantly, do you smell that?
I see it.
That island over there. Look.
That Horker is an island. Okay, oh, you're apparently not going the stealthy approach, so why should I? I can't let her get killed. Hey, Horker.
Whoa, look at the size of that thing. It's like an Alduin.
It is pretty big. Oh, I was gonna say, I don't think my shot would do much to it. That is about the biggest animal I've ever seen. So that's a dragon. I'm using the wrong arrows. Save these arrows for dragon fights. But I barely have any of them. Got it. Solitude's over there. Wow. Special cut Horker meat. Horker tusk. I don't think I would need that for my place. I doubt it. I'll take a couple. Why does it have 5? Horker meat is actually pretty good. So you know what? It's heavy. Let's take a couple. Where'd she go? She's over there. What? Yuck! Right to you. Hello.
By the divines, we did it. Well, mostly you did, but I watched. Some people won't even do that. The smart ones, anyway. In any case, I was thinking, we could bring some of this Horker meat back to Gore, but I won't help him, seeing as he cooks as bad as he sweats. Problem is, we can't take this meat to just any chef. It would be like taking a fine piece of ebony to an Altmer blacksmith.
So what do you suggest we do?
Well, I heard there was some fancy Breton from Hierarch living in the Reach. Cooks with magic or potions or something like that. I figure a chef like that must be completely mad. Mad enough to want to cook Horkers.
Tell me more about this chef.
Well, he's a Breton and sells health potions that taste like toffee. Except the potions aren't good for anything but a paper cut.
Potions for
Now they say he's cooking with magic. Magic. Guy like that probably works with all sorts of crazy meats.
Alright, let's go find us a chef.
Good. Make sure to get a good hunk of meat from that thing. I'd say wrap it in ice, but Skyrim's pretty much one big glacier.
You want to meet with a cook in Markarth. What is this place? Is this another of those
I do not know what I have been told.
Stones?
I have something to defend. My heart is warm when I'm with my
Dova becomes me.
What? Not here to slaughter all the stupid workers. It's a waste of meat. I don't want to carry all this. I thought we would be going to salvage, for some reason, salvage a ship. Thankfully, that's not the case. It's just some unique giant Horker, which you may never ever see again, unfortunately. Right. Right, where from here? Right, straight where I'm facing, actually. Which one? Honestly, I don't know. It's also where Markarth is in the distance, so... No, that's indoors. It's in the city. So, I'm going to mark it on my map, because I don't want to be led astray. We're going to go into the Morthal swamps. Or it's not what it's called, it's the, Hjalmarch swamps. It is the Morthal swamps, though. Some Nord ruin here. The big one. It's dead Draugr outside. Well, I don't... If I went through every single place I came across, that's all I'd be doing. Nothing else. Don't have time for all this. Every 100 feet there's some unique building. Yeah. Unexplored dungeon, or whatever. Cave, ruin. I don't like the swamps. At night it's especially scary. See, my map says this way. Somebody's house. Hey, who are you? I remember there's blood on this. Hey, who are you? Huh? Greetings?
These fools. Why can't anything be simple?
What does that even mean? Is something wrong?
All this supposed progress Tamriel makes, and someone can't even sign our document. Are you the owner of this property, Sirrah?
No. No, who would want to live in a rundown muck heap like this, in the middle of a swamp?
It's not my job to determine the viability of a property in the market. That's a whole different department in the Empire.
Oh.
I'm only here to get a paper signed, but it seems the owner is either dead or gone.
Look at the blood on the door.
In any case, this paperwork won't be signed, and I'll have my boss berating me for it. Another wonderful day.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to live out here. This would be a terrible place to live. You know how scary it is at night? And then there's always the stories of the ghosts that live here. We literally killed a vampire lord or whatever it was, master. Not like Serana's dad, but... Actually, outside of Serana's dad, that's probably the most powerful vampire we come across. Ugh. 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 Several of them. Oh, not you idiots again. Enough. I'm getting tired of you guys. Heroes go right through their little magic protection. Where are my companions? Oh, stop moving. Lucian, you're just gonna stand over there. They never have anything good on them. Happy birthday, Toro. You're 28 today. Getting up to 30. Well, could be worse. I could be 50, 60. That'd be too old for someone doing this kind of thing. Not that I have anything against old people. I mean, my auntie is the greatest person in my life, other than my wives and daughters. But in terms of how I was raised, auntie, no one comes close to auntie. Is there a stone here? We're right by where I want to be. Oh. Who's that? Looks like some lord.
Riding. I feel like I am gliding. Soaring high, swooping low. Leave the nest, be the best.
I don't want to... Don't upset the gods. Touching it doesn't do anything. Alright. Well, let's keep going. Lucian said he thought that was Sheogorath. Well, we found it, I believe. Fulgunthur. Greater Soul Gem. You always say that. Oh, shiny. Well, what's in my book, huh? Is there anything important? Lost Legends. Yeah, they talk about the Pale Lady. Well, it's not that big of a book. Red Eagle. But this isn't the same place. Same thing. No, it talks about Guldur here. Okay, so it talks about Red Eagle very briefly, but some tales prove far harder to analyze. Among the scholars, perhaps the best known is the forbidden legend of the Archmage Guldur. Yes, I remember that. In the dawning days of the First Era, the story goes, there lived a powerful wizard by the name of Guldur. Wise and just, he was well known in the courts of King Harold and the Jarls of Skyrim, and his aid and counsel were sought by Manamar alike. And then he was murdered. Some say one of his sons killed him, others that the King Harold, jealous of his power, gave the order. But Galdur's 3 sons fled into the night, pursued by a company of Harold's best warriors and the Lord Geirmund, the king's personal battle mage. A great chase ensued, from the wilds of the Reach to the glacial north. One brother is said to have perished in the ruins of Fulgunthur. So one of the brothers is here, at the foot of Solitude. The others were run to ground soon thereafter, and once it was done, King Harold ordered every record of their murders destroyed, and Galdur's name and deeds were struck from the rolls of history. Even today, few sources remain, and no bard will tell the tale. But perhaps the truth yet remains in some ancient ruin, waiting to be unearthed, for nothing is ever truly forgotten. What's led me here? Is there anything else around here? Oh. Oh, are you... You're following me. Oh, by the gods, I didn't know you were following us. That makes 6 of us. We're missing Lucian. Hey.
No one ever comes to this dump.
No. I'll meet you in Markarth.
Okay. Meet me in Markarth near the chef's quarters. That's likely where we'll find him.
Chef's quarters. This way. This is where I'm supposed to go, I think. Make some poisons from the death bell. Someone's book? A journal? I wonder what it says. This is my first video back after about a week, or at least since I last recorded one. It's strange to just have Skyrim videos now until it's completed. I don't know how long this will go on for until the story is done, maybe 50 or 60 videos left. I have barely touched Solstheim and hardly have touched the Civil War, but this is the furthest I have ever advanced the main story. So there is a lot left to do, a lot of fun in the story and the game left for me. I had to stop for a week due to some serious insomnia from medication that I took last month in December because of the flu in order to sleep. I'd carried that on for a few weeks and my body was hooked on it. And weaning it off with melatonin required a few days and a lot of lost sleep. But the last 2 nights I've had full sleep again without medication, and things are returning to normal. The reason I have medication to sleep is due to my migraines that I tend to get without good sleep, which doesn't happen that often anymore, but there is always the threat of it. For anyone who hasn't watched my Baldur's Gate stories from the first game to Baldur's Gate 3, which I've just completed last week, you're really missing out if you like my work, especially in Baldur's Gate 3, where I think I did a great job throughout. The combat is way different than an action RPG like the Elder Scrolls, but the story is the heart of my work, and there I really like what I've done. Thanks for watching. Take care.